Hello, EFR 515 students. This is the video on EFR EX11 DATA.GOV download example key. So the first thing I'm asking you to do is go to DATA.GOV. And here's the location right here. So we're just going to grab that, and you could just Google it as well. And we'll go ahead and put that in. And that'll take us to data.gov. Okay. Now, at some point you spend a little time looking around here. Here are the topics, and they've got data. Now this isn't that old, but they've got agriculture, climate, consumer, ecosystems, education, energy, finance. So you should look around these data files for anything you're interested in. For example, so the file we're going to after is leading cause of deaths in the United States. Okay, that should be under medical. So we're just going to click on that. Okay, so this is the one we're after right here. Right. So, and what you're going to see down there is the CVS file for this. So down here are my options to download, and here's the CVS file. So that's what I want to download. I'm going to go ahead and download that file. Download, and when you do that, you can open that up in Excel. And this is what it'll look like in Excel. So you can download the CVS file, but before you save it, one thing you have to do in this file is something in programming in general, and it's interesting the government puts up a data set like this. You don't want spaces in your data set. So like here it says case name, that's a problem. And District of Columbia, all those spaces in there, that'll be a problem for you. So what I'm going to do is, and this last thing, so I'm just going to come in and I'm going to block this whole data set. And I'm going to go Control H. And that's fine. And then I'm going to look for a space. So I'm going to give it a space in here. One space right down here. So you can see here that if I go backspace, and then I'm just going to give it one space. And then I'll replace it with nothing, no space. So I'm going to say replace all. And as you can see, it found 37,211 spaces. So I'll say OK. And then I'm good. Then I go ahead and close that. So what that did is took away all my spaces in this data set. Okay. And now you want to go ahead and save this. Now, notice the name up here. It's NCHS __ leading cause of deaths. Now that's going to have a little bit of problem when you read it into R. This dash, for example. So I'm gonna give it another name, and I'm just going to call it leading cause of death. Okay, or just you're just going to give it a short name in your file. So go ahead and save that. Okay, so now you're going to load it into R. Okay, so you may have to use 3 tiny dots. So what bringing it into R, let me go to R. Okay, so here's R. And the first thing we want to do is pull up our working directory. Okay, so where do you have this saved? And to do that, I'm going to say new file, or I'm sorry, I want to go file right here, files, and then I want those 3 little tiny dots to the right. And once I find that, I'm going to select that, and then here's my file. Now then I'm going to go to the cog here, and it says more. I'm going to say set as working directory. Okay, and that's going to set my file. Now what I can do is here's my CSV file, leading cause of death. So I can just double click that. And that'll down here, as you see, and my example says leading cause of death. So it's setting that as my directory. And it's right up here. So I can go ahead and run that. And that'll pull that file in. And so as you can see, it's now my working directory. It's not pulling it in. But so now I can do my read statement. I'm going to call it LCD inside the program. And I have it here, read.csv, in quotes, lcd.csv, and header equals true. So here's my command. So I'm going to go ahead and read that. And then I'm going to ask for the dimensions of it. And as what we see here, it's a 10,296 by 6 file. And then I can ask for its attributes. So here's my attributes. Here's my names right here, and etc., etc. Okay, so that file is read into R. Okay, so the first question says plot an XY graph of deaths by year for Wisconsin. Okay, so this is the graph we're looking for. So to do that in R, it's right here. So LCD is my file name. In square brackets, which, then in parentheses, my conditions. So LCD state equals Wisconsin, in quotes, because it's a string, and LCD cause name equals suicide, comma, and then square brackets. So when I run that, I'm going to get a file called Wisconsin. So go ahead and run that, block that, run that. And so now I have a file named Wisconsin. And then so you see here, I want year by deaths. So I want the year by deaths. So I have Wisconsin, $ year, $ deaths. And go ahead and run that. And that gives me my plot. Notice basically a linear relationship here as deaths are increasing over time. And now it's quite possible the population's increasing as well. So there's the graph I'm looking for. And you could do that for North Dakota or any other state union here that's in this data set. Okay, so that's for number 3. For number 4, I say from 1999 to 2015, there were more deaths in North Dakota. Were there more deaths in North Dakota than South Dakota on average? Okay, so we're going to compare North Dakota deaths to South Dakota deaths. So I'm going to go back into R. And so I'm saying here's my question. So what I want to do is pull out, first thing I'm going to do here is pull out North Dakota. So LCD is my death. Here's my data set. And I'm going to go which, then in parentheses, LCD state equals North Dakota, and LCD cause equals cancer. Close paren, close bracket, comma, square bracket. And I'm going to call that DC North Dakota. So I can run that. So here are the deaths by cancer. Right here. So adjusted the deaths we've had. And the reason is cancer. So here's cancer. And here's deaths per year for all those years. Likewise, we do the same for South Dakota. Here's South Dakota, right? So I can run that. and I get South Dakota out. Now I just did the mean of North Dakota because I didn't label my t-test, so now I know which is which. So now I'm going to go ahead and do a t-test of these two, and there's my t-test results. So then I'm going to just write up in my assignment for the assignment the average number of deaths from 1999 to 2015 was M, the mean, equals 1,308 in North Dakota. The average number of deaths from that time was M equals 1611 in South Dakota. This was found to be statistically significant, and there's my APA. Now, there could be many reasons for that. I know South Dakota has a few more people than North Dakota, but there's more deaths down there. So take a look, some time to look around, and obviously there's much more you could do with these death statistics, and it's worthwhile doing some practice in there, finding interesting items and doing the programming for that. But that's all this assignment requires. Thank you.